In 2016, Microsoft's research lab sought to understand online conversations. To strive to meet these ends, they released their chatbot Tay into the wild world of Twitter as an attempt to understand these online conversations. In just 24 hours, users on Twitter managed to convert Tay from an innocent idea to an account that tweeted out racist and bigoted statements. Tay was programmed to be powered by many different artificial intelligence algorithms that learned by reading and understanding tweets that it accessed on Twitter. However, at the heart of this artificial intelligence algorithms rested a concept known as machine learning. While computers are traditionally told what to do through explicit code written by a programmer, machine learning allows for computers to teach themselves by looking for patterns in large collections of data. Using these patterns, machine learning then begins to recognize them in order to reach a conclusion based on a given input by the users.
In an age where computing power is cheaper than ever, many industries, including the likes of pharmacies, banks, telecommunication, healthcare, law enforcement, finance, etc., have started employing the use of predictive modeling as a tool to understand human behavior and thus make decisions. Let us now look at some areas where predictive modeling hasn't been able to live up to the hype. The first issue is that regarding voice recognition technology. Voice recognition, as the term suggests, is the concept of computational linguistics that develops methodologies and technologies that are able to recognize and translate spoken language into text using computers, smartphones, etc. It uses an ensemble of machine learning algorithms that are trained on a variety of audio data from specific sources and can perform tasks based on input. In the US, voice recognition software is helpful when one can say, "Hey Siri," and ask for Alexa's help in some menial task. The machine learning technology used in voice recognition learns to recognize the primary user's voice in order to better understand what is being said to it and perform the task more accurately. Unfortunately, it is not always applicable to people with different accents, dialects, or slang. The following video shows some of the complications that can occur when the underlying algorithms in voice recognition technology are not trained on diverse groups of people.
What's the buttons?
Oh no, they installed voice recognition technology in this lift. I heard about this.
Voice recognition technology? In a lift? In Scotland? You ever tried voice recognition technology?
No.
They don't do Scottish accents.
11.
Could you please repeat that?
11!
11. 11.
11!
Could you please repeat that?
11.
Whose idea was this? You need to try an American accent. 11! 11!
That sounds Irish, no American.
What, doesn't it? 11!
Where in America is that? Dublin?
I'm sorry. Could you please repeat that?
Machine learning can also cause issues in targeted online advertising. Targeted advertising is a form of marketing where online advertisers can use data-driven methods to target their most receptive audiences with certain traits based on the product or person the advertiser is promoting. For example, when someone is looking at adopting a pet, their Facebook advertisements will start to suggest pet food, pet supplies, and local animal shelters. However, this type of predictive and direct marketing can be dangerous. Cross-device tracking is a form of tracking that occurs when platform publishers and ad tech companies try to connect a consumer's activities across their devices. With cross-device tracking, the searches that occur on someone's phone may lead to advertisements on their computer. This may lead to issues where personal searches appear on company-issued devices. More specifically, this can be a problem for LGBTQ persons if someone else should be looking over their shoulder or using their device for any particular reason. While for some people it may just cause embarrassment, this could be traumatic or even dangerous for people in any of 74 countries where being LGBTQ is still illegal. Moving on to our third issue of machine learning in law enforcement. In this scenario, machine learning is used to estimate areas that have the highest chances of criminal activity so they can take adequate measures to secure these areas. According to Rachel Ehrenberg of Science News, 20 US cities including Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles, and Seattle have started using a predictive policing system that uses several machine learning models to flag people in regions prone to experience higher crime rates. Models like these obviously raise an uncomfortable question of whether algorithms take into account race, sex, and religious distribution in these areas. Christian Lum, who leads the policing project at San Francisco-based Human Rights Data Analysis Group, looked at how the crime mapping program PredPol would perform if put to use in Oakland, California. Her research looked at pure statistical bias and found results that can lead to policing that unfairly targets minorities and those living in poorer neighborhoods. Predictive policing has been on the rise globally and is now being implemented and tested in UK and Germany. The implications of an unregulated predictive system that is helping solve crimes could actually be helping in more unfair victimizations instead. How is this bias introduced? The benefit of predictive modeling and machine learning is that they learn from human-provided examples rather than having explicit rules and constraints. Herein lies the complexity. Humans are biased, and when we make machines learn our biased examples, we automate it and convert it into large-scale bias, which can then affect several others. Thus, if the model generates outcomes by discriminating on race data, the model is not racist, but the data that has been collected is skewed against the particular race. In her research, Lum noted that there was nothing wrong in Predpol's algorithms. Machine learning algorithms learns patterns and structure in data. Hence, if the data is skewed and biased, structural algorithms will not help remove it unless human intervention is introduced. These examples raise an important question. How can the world operate when services that utilize predictive analytics can predict a person's sexual orientation, his or her chances of committing crime, or even his or her voice with an inherent bias encoded in the system itself?
Now we'll discuss the potential policies and guidelines surrounding the use of machine learning technologies. Policies have been put in place by the Network Advertising Initiative, which is a self-regulated association dedicated to responsible data collection and its use in digital advertising. One of their policies includes the intent to protect individuals by establishing sexual orientation as sensitive information that should not be shared or utilized in advertising. But that does not mean it is foolproof when machine learning is not entirely capable of understanding when sensitive information should or should not be used for direct marketing. Additionally, researchers like Christian Lum have suggested that the police conduct investigations by sticking to the old time-worn approaches rather than predictive policing methods. The black box of a machine learning algorithm has the potential to cause damage to the legitimacy and precision of the police if they are found to be targeting certain locations. As a result, this can also remove police accountability in their communities and create distrust. Moving on to global policies and guidelines, we'll discuss some of the countries taking steps to regulate machine learning. Japan has pushed for basic rules on artificial intelligence at G7 meetings in 2016, which would change the uses of machine learning within the context of artificial intelligence. This conclave discussed important principles, including making AI systems controllable by human beings and adding respect for human dignity and privacy in machine learning systems. Additionally, South Korea is developing a robot ethics charter, which could change the way that machine learning is built and written. The South Korean government plans to set ethical guidelines concerning the roles and functions of machine learning-powered systems, as it is expected to develop strong intelligence in the near future. All these policy announcements and discussions have focused on suggesting the implementation of ethics on a high level while building machine learning products. However, none of them have proposed policies or material based on inducing human bias into machine learning systems, which could aid in technologies that are overall more just and fair to their user base. We recommend policymakers have more policy-based conversations as well as consider implementing more restrictions on biased machine learning tools and technologies that have large implications on everyday human lives.